What's up, Sagittarius? This energy is intense. Like someone cannot get you out of their head no matter what they do. Um, they try to distract themselves. They try to act like they don't care, but it's not working. You're in their thoughts all the time, in their dreams, in their silence. Sagittarius. This person is obsessed with your energy. The way you made them feel, the way you walked away, it's driving them crazy. They're watching, thinking, replaying everything, and realizing they can't replace you. This isn't just love anymore. This is something deeper, something they can't escape. Um, Trust your intuition, and let's get into your reading.
Okay, so I feel like this person or whoever you're dealing with, um, is going through a major transformative cycle with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse here. They are transforming and stepping into their power. They may not realize that, um, or they may not realize that, but this is a really deeply transformative period for them. The Wheel of Fortune as well, um, there's an element of destiny and fate about this. This is a shift they have no control over, but, for it to be clarified by the magician reassures us that this person, they're gonna come out on top. They really are stepping into their power, and, this is part of their destiny. This cycle has to come to be, but they're in it with such a lot of pain right now that I'm hearing that, any feelings are blocked. We've got the Ace of Cups in reverse. This person just doesn't have it in them to not even just to express, there's just a feeling of tremendous apathy with the Ace of Cups reversed. It's an energy of being emotionally overwhelmed, and the fact that it's clarified by the Tower in reverse suggests that they're very much still midway through this cycle. There's still more to come, and even though it's helping things to transform, it's just very overwhelming for them. So, with this Hermit energy and clarified by the Ten of Swords, they're in a lot of pain, That hermit is the power of solitude, independence, stepping back, going within, isolating themselves. And for it to be clarified by the Ten of Swords indicates again, there's this cyclic change, but also really grievous pain. This person's been stabbed in the back or hurt very, very deeply. And though they're still processing this. So they're silent because they need to be, they need this period of healing and transformation. We've also got strength in reverse, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. This person doesn't feel ready for a new beginning. Yeah, they're not ready for a new beginning. They feel weakened. They don't feel powerful yet, even though this is the energy they're moving into. They still feel like they're in this weakened state and they're just not feeling good. We've got the Five of Cups in reverse, clarified by the Devil. They've not quite let go, whatever this hurt or pain is that they're going through, they're still processing it with this Five of Cups energy. And again, the five is that transient, transformative number. And then we've got the Devil. They're still very attached to that situation. They're still ruminating about it. They feel stuck and trapped, just like they're unable to release themselves from it. So, this person is not communicating. It's not personal. Their feelings are blocked. Their heart is blocked. They're just going through such a very difficult time. I think this motivation at 4 o'clock, though, is really significant. This suggests to me that, especially bearing in mind it's coming up under the magician, the wheel will turn and they're going to get this drive. They're going to start moving forward. Four is obviously significant. The number four is significant, and four is the number of balance, harmony, stability, control. I do feel like this cyclic shift is very, very relevant to the energies of this time, which were about transformation, particularly for masculine energy. Four is the number of the emperor, and the emperor is in control. They're in their full power. And this is where this person is headed towards, but they're not there yet. So I'm hearing that they have tremendous passion for you. I'm really drawn to this star on this card that you are their wish fulfillment, but any kind of emotional connection is just blocked right now because of this very extreme apathy that they're experiencing in their present and the pain that they're going through. Now, it's not clear what this shift is, what it is they've lost, who's hurt them, or what's happened. We only know that, with the devil, that's distorted love. It's codependent love, it's anxious or avoidant attachment, it's bondage, it's that feeling of being trapped in distorted love and not seeing things clearly. And again, with this 5 of Cups in reverse, this still hasn't been released and they're really struggling to let go. They still feel attached to something that doesn't serve them, even though there's a tremendous amount of pain here. So they've either left this situation or they may have physically left it, but emotionally speaking, they're still deeply attached and hurting. But, they're definitely isolating themselves not just from you, but from everybody. So you're really not to internalize their rejection or their silence. It's really not about you. You're being asked here to have patience. I feel like, and then this card represents the Knight, and I feel like, you do bring them pleasure. The thought of you brings them pleasure, but they're also very much numb. They're numb to pleasure and even when they do feel this pleasure and passion, it's kind of, very gently scratching at the surface, but it's not penetrating because they are so deep in this kind of very solitary pain. It's got fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites in extremes of life. And this is a really interesting card, holding the opposites, extremes of life. And I feel like they want to surrender to you, but it really does feel like there are two extremes of the spectrum here. There's this beautiful passion, pleasure, and love that they wanna grasp, but, I feel like they're stuck in the kind of darker, low levels of consciousness, being trapped in distorted love. We've got star brothers, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust, and, I feel like they just want you to be safe and protected from this pain they're going through. They don't wanna burden you with this. There's drama, there's trauma, they just want to handle it. They want you to be protected from that. They really appreciate how devoted and loyal you are, and they do trust you, which I think feels quite major given that this has come up over the 10 of Swords, because I feel like someone has really betrayed them, has really broken their trust. So for them to trust you feels like a tremendous step. And I think deep in their hearts, they know that waiting for them on the other side of this pain is you, this beautiful, devoted, trusting energy and real love, not distorted love. We've also got called here soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. And again, as I said, with this magician energy, it's like the universe has come in and started moving everything for this person. Their soul is being called. They're very gifted, I'm hearing, particularly as far as energy is concerned. This person has a very strong intuitive antenna, but it needs to be recalibrated. They are completely out of balance at the moment, but their soul is calling them. And again, with this devil energy, they're still stuck in that ego energy. There is this thing, the call of the soul. So, what do you need to do to move forward? What's the guidance for you? We've got the 9 of Wands, so don't give up, hang in there. We've got the 6 of Wands, victory is coming. That 6 is also the number of love. 3 of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse. Clarifying, we've got the 4 of Swords, we've got the 10 of Wands in reverse. That's really interesting that that's come up on the 10 of Swords. We've got the 6 of Cups. That's really beautiful. And we've got the Sun. These are fabulous cards. See, again for you, we've got the 9. This is that very independent energy, the power of solitude, and you're being asked not to give up, to hang in there. You've got 4 here as well. This is your time to be solitary, to take that time out. This is about bringing yourself into balance and harmony, focusing on yourself, focusing on your own journey. What I love about this 9 of Wands is that I always describe the divine feminine as the torchbearer. And in this card, she is literally holding the line. Don't underestimate how powerful your light is in this situation and how working on yourself, healing yourself, focusing on yourself, it's moving everything in the right direction. You're being asked to flow with the divine plan. And I also feel called to say your only responsibility is to embrace your own glory, to focus on your own victory. Look at her here again with that torch, raising her hands up to the heavens. She's successful, happy, she's victorious. 6 is the number of love, and wands is the suit of spirit. Connect with divine love. Just keep shining your light, keep shining that torch. This needn't be a burden. You need to just start appreciating the journey to really embracing the magic of it now. It's not the time to focus on union or to dwell on any kind of karmic or third party situations. You need to remember that you have a soul history with this person. They could be your twin flame, your soulmate. You've shared past lives with them. There's a deep, deep spiritual and soul connection here between you and this person. And that loyalty, that deep friendship is represented here by this boy growing up with his loyal dog. Of course, dogs represent loyalty. And again, it's come up over that card of loyalty and trust, history. Someone that's been there for you and helped you grow and start quick, throughout it all. So, um, don't get hung up on union. You need to take your focus away from that. You need to focus on you and just have divine faith that you're being moved in the right direction. The temperance card indicates that, um, this is coming up over here, 5 in reverse. You've still got work to do. No, this is number 14. Of course, numerologically, it reduces to 5, and temperance is about bringing things back into balance, balancing your light and dark shadows. I'm really discovering your true divine self here. Normally holding 2 cups, but in this deck, we see holding the moon and the sun. So there's a need for you to balance your divine masculine and feminine energies and also to balance the shadow and light within you. And what quite often, particularly on the twin flame journey, those of you that are going through that healing process will understand that you're asked to embody the light and to release shadows, to embrace love, and to release fear. But the reality is, fear exists within all of us as human beings. We don't have to completely purge every ounce of fear. It's the natural condition of being human. But you are being called, perhaps you've been too resilient and you've become so positive that you're not acknowledging the fear aspects that are out of balance within you that are still kind of, slowing down the path to union, but everything is moving in divine timing. You just need to focus on your own healing and definitely to be more aware of the shadows within you and allow them to be brought to the surface. The Sun card clarifying this promises perfect joy. This is the most positive card in the deck in its completion. We've gone from the Wheel of Fortune, which is that dramatic, cyclic change, the Tower, which is that crumbling of the old, all the way to this beautiful, beautiful light, joyful, sunny beginning. So you can trust. You can trust that this person holds you in very high regard. They are just completely blocked from pursuing anything with you right now because they are stuck in their own painful cycle, in their own painful journey. It's They're not rejecting you for any other reason than they just cannot focus on anything else other than their pain right now. So, finally, I'm going to get one of these cards to you. This is the cosmic reading cards. They're so beautiful. They always summarize the readings so beautifully. So you have got free spirit, which is beautiful. It's the number 13, which reduces to 4. Balance, harmony, stability. I feel like this is what you two are really working towards, both of you independently, of bringing yourselves back into balance. Free spirit. True freedom is attained when one transcends the illusionary imprisonment of their mind. This card represents the need to let go of limiting beliefs that you hold within yourself. Beliefs regarding who you are and what you are capable of achieving. There are 2 types of beliefs: beneficial beliefs, which encourage you to grow, and detrimental beliefs, which keep you imprisoned and bound by fear. So, why is this person not communicating with you? Things have been out of balance between you for a while, is what I'm hearing. But, there's a lot of love here. They had a tremendous amount of love for you here, but this person is very conflicted. First and foremost, they don't feel that they can give you what you deserve, and they really need to get past this. And to give themselves time to think it through and to understand that their true strength and what's important is what's in their heart. But they're not seeing that. This person's very much so stuck in ego. They've not evolved beyond this idea that they have to be materially accomplished or successful. They're very intimidated and threatened by you, and they just feel that they cannot give you what you need, even though there's a great deal of love there. This person feels very intuitively connected to you. We've got the 6 of Cups here, which for me is the soulmate card, and that card of remembering, of nostalgia, of that deep familiarity, and it's clarified by the moon, which is the card of intuition, but there's a lot of fear attached to this as well for this person. I don't feel that they're ready for the intensity of this connection and an understanding, wow, this feels actually quite big. This feels like this person could end up being a serious relationship. They've panicked somewhat. They've become very conflicted. They've had this fresh perspective with the hangman, but with the 5 of swords here, they're just very conflicted. For some of you, this may mean that there has been conflict between you and them, or potentially with a third party situation because the hangman does reduce to 3. So it could be that this person is already connected to someone else and then realizing that they have this very deep connection to you. And because of their circumstances, they're just like, oh God, this is going to require some change. And I feel very conflicted about that. I don't wanna hurt anybody, so it feels like, this person is, they just don't wanna make a decision with this 2 of swords here, but this is clarified by the Queen of Cups, which is a very beautiful and empathic energy. Now, again, this could relate to a third party. This is Cancerian energy, water energy. It could also be Pisces or Scorpio, but, they don't want to make a decision. I feel like even though they know what's in their heart, but we have got the 2 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups also upright, and the Ace of Pentacles, which is that new beginning. So, again, this person is very conflicted. It's like everything's up in the air and they just don't know what to do. They're very sensitive to this kind of very astral, intuitive connection with you. I feel like they dream about you. I feel like they get signs and synchronicities. And this change that has taken place in their perception, it's just proved very, very challenging. And you're being called to be patient because it feels like things are in a state of flux right now. And, this person very much cares about you, but they are also unawakened. They are also, as I said, still residing in ego. The energy that's coming through is, what I'm guessing. I mean, we've got the 2 of Cups, and it's represented by vivacious. And I feel like that's how they see you as someone really exuberant, vivacious, loving, just, I'm queen of the world. I mean, they just see you as being such an explosively brilliant person, and they're very intimidated and very threatened by that. So, for some of them, they're stuck in this third party situation. For others, they're very scared of the emotional depth of this connection. They're very conflicted about that. This could be someone that's been previously very much a commitment phobe, kind of avoids very deeply intimate relationships. But again, coming back to this 6 of Cups in the moon, we've got empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. And it features this lady looking in the mirror. And I really feel like this is the case. You guys think you could be twin flames, but they see this mirror image of themselves in you that they kind of pick up on your energy, you pick up on theirs, and they just find this so overwhelming. Again, the 6 of Cups can indicate childhood nostalgia, memories, and I feel like they see this innocence and tenderness in you. You kind of spark that inner child. You make them feel like they're the purest, most beautiful self, that innocent self, and they really, really appreciate that. Surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. I mean, this person's certainly not communicating with you for any lack of emotion or feelings. They feel it. They feel it big, Venus energy, and it's coming up over this Queen of Cups. They feel it very deeply, but I feel like they're not ready to make love to life. They're very afraid. They're very intimidated. They don't understand what this means, and I think I'm going to put some more guidance cards to you. But I think the thing that stands out most, here is patience. That this person doesn't really understand what's happening, and there's just so much inner conflict here, so much inner conflict. On the one hand, they want that new start. On the other hand, they're running scared from it. They just thought, "Oh my god, what's happening here? This makes me feel so vulnerable," and, my gut feeling is this person is someone who's comfortable with vulnerability, so what's the guidance what do you need to know to help you move forward for your highest good? We've got the Star in reverse, we've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the King of Cups in reverse, and we've got Strength in reverse. Clarifying, we've got the 9 of Pentacles, we have got the 3 of Wands, we've got the 3 of Cups in reverse, and we have got the Empress in reverse. So, as guidance for you, I really feel like you need to stop clinging on to this. This was the guidance that came up before, very different circumstances, but very similar energy, so it might help to look at the advice. But again, you've got this 9 energy here. This is the number of solitude and going within and focusing on yourself. It mirrors the hermit energy, which is the card of self-reflection, but the star, I feel like you spend a lot of time just wishing, wishing, wishing you can have this person, getting so frustrated that they're not here, that that's not manifesting. When all of your power is focusing on your own peace, your own growth, your own abundance, your own forward movement and evolution. There is going to be rapid fire change and fulfillment is what I'm hearing for you, but you've got to invest in that. You've got to invest in you. The 8 of Wands is also about communication. So, I feel like this person's not communicating with you at the moment, but there's a very good chance that they're coming out of their shell. 8 of Wands is rapid forward change, movement, communication, incoming energy. And with the 3 of Wands here, that is the card of your ships coming in, fulfillment. So I feel like you just need to take the pressure off yourself a bit and trust it's coming and just let go your hold on this. With the King of Cups in reverse, clarified by the 3 of Cups, and then, tweak this, has come up over the Queen of Cups. I said for some of you, this could be the case that, this person's in another connection. Of course, we've got King of Cups and Queen of Cups very much indicate that this is Scorpio energy, but I feel for most of you, this is going to be the case that they are emotionally overwhelmed and don't feel like they can socialize with you and that you need to get a handle on your emotional overwhelm. I feel like you maybe express yourself in such a way that only makes them more scared. So the King of Cups upright is about being emotionally more restrained and holding on to your feelings in a very mature way, knowing exactly when to reveal something. Exactly when not to, because actually when to hold back. So there's a message here for some of you as well about being more restrained, about taking it more slowly, about approaching it more maturely. You definitely need to stop listening to your friends because I feel like their guidance is warping your perspective. For a lot of you, I'm hearing they're not good enough. They're not these things. They should have done this, you should have done that, and this is making you feel a bit disillusioned and disheartened. You need to start learning to trust yourself. This is what that 9 of Pentacles is about, focusing on your own inner truth. And there's definitely a need for you to bring yourself back into emotional balance. And to stop relying on your friends so much for their feedback and perspective. And perhaps not just friends, this could be, other sources. It might even be these readings, you might be watching so many that you're getting really confused. But for some of you, this is definitely this person being involved in the third party. And we've got both of these cards coming up in the reverse. I would suggest to me that they're coming out of that they may be walking away from that situation. Regardless, you are not in balance right now. You're not presenting yourself in the best light, and this isn't helping these energies move forward because we've got the Empress in reverse here. She is the divine feminine power. We've also got strength in reverse here, which is all about courage of the heart and strength of the heart, and understanding that true strength isn't in being assertive or playing games or, trying to get your way through external coercion or manipulation. It's about being vulnerable and real and truthful and managing the situation from a point of authenticity. So, there's a need here to bring yourself into balance and to focus on yourself very much and to trust that everything is moving in the right direction. I genuinely do see communication for some of you. So even though they're silent at the moment, understand they're very conflicted and it feels like your energy, your neediness, your kind of desperation to um, be with them. You may have been very conflicting with them as well. You may have been quite confrontational, assertive. If you're not going to do this and I'm not going to speak to you, that's a game. That's a game intended to get control. I would do what I want, or we can't speak, that's taking control in a very coercive way. And you don't want to be in that energy. You need to be in this strength. It's fine to say, do you know what? This is boring for me now. It's not fulfilling me. So maybe we should just leave it there. But if you're not going to do this, I'm not going to do that as a controlling thing. It's good to be honest and to speak from the heart, but not if the intention is to control the outcome. It should be all about protecting and guarding your own power, holding yourself first. holding your esteem and your worth and your self-respect. And um, I don't understand the boundary between the two is subtle. That requires you to be intuitive and wise in your analysis of this situation. Um, I feel like this person doesn't see you as a romantic option right now. They've got their barriers up, and I really do feel like they're actually blocked from experiencing joy and happiness. This person is fighting an internal battle. They're fighting a battle with themselves. They're not in a good state of mind to feel. This person may suffer from depression, some kind of mental imbalance, and also I feel like they're still reeling from some kind of really painful rejection where they were left out in the cold, or perhaps they left someone out in the cold and they're still waiting for that situation to be resolved. So it feels like this person, with the Five of Pentacles here in reverse, clarified by the Three of Wands, and then we've got the Three of Cups in reverse, clarified by the Four of Pentacles. It feels like they just haven't let go. They haven't let go of this other person. They're not considering anybody else. So chances are, if they're not coming forward and communicating, it's because you're not in their zone of awareness. They're very stuck on this other person. They may or may not still be in that relationship. Either way, this person isn't well. We've got the Eight of Swords here. This is someone that is trapped. And with the moon, that can indicate fear, illusion, not understanding, not trusting. But for me, when it comes up with the Eight of Swords, it's very much a card of isolation and mental unwellness. So I really don't think this person's in a good place and they're not able to focus on a new relationship. As I said, they're fighting this internal battle and there's a feeling of being very depleted and quite depressed. They're really not good. Definitely, there's a lot of anxiety here, and it feels like they're still waiting and trying to resolve another situation. They're not ready to let that other situation go. They're still daydreaming about that. So, hoping that they have a chance and that there's an opportunity there whilst they go through this cycle. I'm hearing that they are learning, and it even says down here, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. So, this person is definitely, and the moon indicates that as well, very otherworldly, but they're saying, I'm sorry. Righting past wrongs, uprooting an empathic starseed energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So, I feel like you may be very empathic and take on a lot of this person's pain, or it could be that they are in their sensitive understanding of what that means, how painful it is to be around, miserable people, people that are struggling. They don't want to impact you with that. I feel like they probably know that you have feelings for them, and again, there's a lot of sorrow here, they're just sorry that they're not able to reciprocate in the way that you would like them to, but they're learning. They're learning, and this journey doesn't appear to involve you at the moment. You don't seem to be an option for them, so, no, that's really painful for you to hear, and I'm really sorry. So let's get some cards that are guidance for you. What do you need to do? What do you need to do? That's where your power is. Okay, we've got justice. We have got strength in reverse. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Knight of Wands. And clarifying, we've got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. I've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Nine of Swords. Now, there's a karmic lesson here for you because, you're the sort of person that gives and gives and gives even though you don't get back. And even in this justice card, which for me does represent karma, you can see that one panda is holding the sword of truth, and they're pushing the other panda away with their fur. One is in this very desolate, depleted land, and the other is in this very abundant, fruitful land. Again, here we've got light and dark represented. This is about balance and justice and karma. And here we've got the Six of Pentacles. Oh, we've got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And again, the Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take. It's about learning to give in a balanced way. And I feel like this person could be, presenting a very spiritual and very important lesson for your own evolution and growth because you are not in your power right now. You are being coerced if you're using your sexuality at all to get what you want. You're not using your divine feminine power in the right ways. And you get sucked into these relationships where you anxiously attach to an avoidant person that doesn't give you what you want. And then you need and you need, and you develop this codependency. This feels like an ongoing cycle for you, not just with this person, but with previous relationships. So there's a real need to become aware of what this connection, this person is trying to teach you with the Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles. I do feel like you may hear this from this person. You've taught this person that you will be there for them in a casual sexual manner. And I do feel like they owe you an apology. This is coming back over that I'm sorry card. And I feel like they're going to make an apology so they can dig themselves out of this hole and enjoy this very casual relationship they have with you. But the guidance here is, charge forward towards that at your peril because you're only bringing yourself more nightmare and anxiety. You are literally throwing yourself to the wolves, okay? And you're hurting yourself, you're sabotaging yourself. This person cannot give you what you want right now. They are hung up on somebody else. We've got that 2 of Pentacles there, which flew out to clarify that, and I don't see that that's changing at the moment. You know? That's what they want to bring back into balance. That's what they are focused on. It's you that needs to change. They're going to keep accepting your casual friends with benefits style offers. And if that's what you're presenting to them because they don't need to commit, you need to focus on your own abundance. You've been feeling indecisive about this person, I feel, and worrying about whether you should move on. And the answer is in your own heart and your own high mind. You need to bring that into balance and focus on your own abundance. As I said, I feel like this person is silent now, but they're always going to bounce back to you. Wanting a bit of your energy, wanting a bit of your companionship, wanting all of that sexual pleasure that you're putting on a plate for them. Look, we've got deception here. You know that this person is wearing a mask. They're not showing their true self. The truth is they are wishing for someone else and they are very much residing in ego. I'm really sorry. I know these are very hard energies to listen to, but I think it's more important that this is brought into a zone of awareness so that you can make healthier, happier decisions for yourself. I'm going to choose you one of these cosmic reading cards because these really are very beautiful. I'm going to read it straight from the book. I always find this summarizes the reading perfectly. We've got Awakened. That's what this Dream Space card is about. Wake up to the truth of who you are. It's the number one card. This is a new beginning, okay? Awakened, it is time to awaken. Humanity needs your unique, illuminating light, dear one. The universe has been gently nudging you forward with signs, synchronicities, dreams, and coincidences. It is your time to awaken to your true creative potential and inherent power. You are being propelled forward to stir the ancient wisdom that is already in you. Enjoy this process of unfolding and watch consciously as your life transforms. You already possess all the tools you'll ever need on this journey, and this chapter is simply a reminder to pay attention to the signs. Your, your conscious awareness is expanding, and the wisdom of the sages is being reflected to you through Mother Earth herself. Situations are presenting themselves to you to match your increasing vibration and to remind you of your awakening power. A deeper inner knowing is emerging, even if you are not aware of it. Portals within your being are healed and opened, allowing inspiration and ancient wisdom to be readily accessed. You have always possessed this innate wisdom, but needed to clear and balance certain areas in your life first. This is now your chapter to reveal to the world who you truly are and the unique light that you hold. Embrace the amazing soul that is you and accept that you have a vital role to play. Go with the flow and follow the signs, for you are not alone. Divine guidance is with you every step of the way to assist you where you need to be. Let this pace flow naturally. Don't rush. You'll be frantic during this time. Just be and allow your beautiful petals to gently unfold to the amazing, magnificent soul that is truly you. And the affirmation is I'm awake to the spark of my own illumination, liberated through love and illumined by divine light. And the associated chakras are heart, third eye, and crown. So you're really being called, and I feel like this person is a catalyst, soulmate, or an ascension partner, or a false twin. There's someone that has been brought to wake you up and get you to face your karma in recognizing this kind of distorted love that you keep getting sucked into. And seeing perhaps all the signs and synchronicities in this connection, the divine is actually asking you to wake up to the truth of who you are. You don't need them. You just need the love within you. And I don't like to confirm or not confirm a twin connection in these readings. So if you feel very strongly that this person is your twin, I can only say that they are not for you right now. They are hung up on someone else. They're resolving their own karma, and you are being asked to resolve yours. You're being asked to wake up to the truth of who you are and to focus on your own healing. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you for this reading. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. You all mean a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, okay? Bye-bye.